A surfer comedy set in England. Is that a thing? Normally us Brits leave the surfer films to Americans or Australians, but in 1995 we decided to get on our boards and try and hang 10 with the best of them. This is Blue Juice.
I was blind, but now I see. You made a believer.
Well, we come all the way down here and you're more worried about chasing after some bird.
Chloe is not a bird. Dean, with surfers, the word is babe.
Surf's up! They're mates from London. Chloe, I grew up with them.
You never grew up.
Now this is how you get a film made. Writer-director Carl Pretzer convinced Film 4 to part with a bit of cash so he could spend a week researching the surf scene in Cornwall with the idea of writing a screenplay around it. At the time, the surf scene in Cornwall hadn't really taken off. It was a small yet committed bunch of surfers. A fateful meeting between Pretzer and professional surfer Steve England at Newquay ultimately lit the fuse for the story of Blue Juice. With finance all sorted courtesy of Film 4, the crew and cast, including British actors such as Sean Pertwee, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Stephen McIntosh and Ewan McGregor, actors that were making waves in this country and across the pond, all decamped down to Cornwall for surfing and filming. All the actors lived in the same house together to enable them to develop a friendship that would transfer onto camera. It also meant that parties were the order of the day when filming had finished. Pertwee had to be rescued by some of the crew when the local fishermen wanted to keep him drinking in the local pub until the early hours. But it wasn't all fun and laughter. Bad weather caused a lot of filming to be cancelled. Unpredictable swirls caused havoc for the actors. Even the scene featuring the big wave didn't look like it was going to happen. A couple of attempts led to nothing, then suddenly the clouds cleared, the sea looked crystal, and a big wave started rolling in. The director shouted, "Get in! Get in!" at the actors. And with that, 23 seconds of brilliant surfing footage was captured. Additional surfing footage was shot in Lanzarote to get that sun-kissed look and that constant big wave. There's a scene in the film where Pertwee's JC appears naked except for a sock. The actor thought up the idea to use a bit of toupee tape to keep the sock on. So he wrapped the very sticky material around his penis and then firmly pressed the sock onto it. The sock kept in place. Oh, it was from Marks and Spencer's, by the way. All the way through the filming, it was there. It was only when Pertwee came to remove the tape that he realised how difficult and painful it was. I can't imagine his thruster was quite the same after that. The film has a sexy A-list cast of actors, yet there's also a rather curious set of supporting actors in Blue Juice. There's appearances from Jenny Agutter, Keith Allen, Heathcote Williams. Also appearing is soul singer Edwin Starr. However, that is more obvious as Starr appeared on the soundtrack doing his own cover version of the Primal Scream song Moving On Up. The film has an absolutely cracking soundtrack that includes the likes of Jamiroquai, Apollo 440 and Mark Bolan and T-Rex, but it's never been commercially released. Oh, going back to supporting actors, keep an eye out for many of the locals as additional surfers, and also try to spot kite surfing champion Andrea Wary, and also one man in his camper van prevent. When the film was released, it came with this vivid blue poster that features Pertwee, Zeta-Jones and in the background Ewan McGregor. However, when the film hit the international DVD market, it got slightly changed. Now see if you can spot the ever so slight change here. That's right, they've dumped Sean Pertwee and replaced him with Ewan McGregor because the Scottish actor had become an international acting star. So the distributor thought by putting McGregor on the DVD front cover, it might get a few more sales. Poor Pertwee. Thankfully, when the film was reissued in the UK in 2008 by Film 4, they corrected that issue and went with this more modest DVD cover. Blue Juice could be accused of Peter Panism for its central character, the surfer boy who didn't want to grow up. However, there is a case to be made that the film is actually suggesting that it's possible to love someone and something both at the same time and both with all of your heart. But in order to do that, you have to grow up a little bit. You can't be getting blonde highlights and running off to get the early morning big waves. It's about finding that balance between being a grown-up and still retaining that sense of being a kid. This is an easy breezy rom-com about surfing in the UK. Director Preciosa told Carve magazine, "It's like I found my soul making that film. Now I live by the sea, trip around the world and still chase the ocean. And that would not have happened were it not for Blue Juice."
I was lost, but now I'm found. I believe in you, and I got no bounds, and I'm moving on up now, getting out of the darkness.
You'll surf the boneyard.
Oh, my light shines on, my light shines on, my light shines on.
And if you thought I was going to finish on a surfing term, then you're completely wrong. Over and Wipeout. How